Warning, don't listen if it's a podcast you want. This is a Chumcast. Just your basic gabfest among chums. A little news, some entertainment, an annoying opinion or two, and, if you're lucky, maybe even a chuckle.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So it's time to buckle up. Whetstone Entertainment, in association with Is Chill Productions, presents Don't Listen, a basic Chumcast. And here are your hosts, Big Red and the Shebs.
Remember, everyone, just don't be yourselves.
It's showtime.
Oh, go time.
Fire it up, Big Red.
All right, it's time. Here we are. It's the Don't Listen Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And we are inside the Pine Brook Inn Studios today.
Pine Brook Inn Studios.
Uppity. Very uppity.
Yes.
Fancy. Expensive.
Fancy. Right in the downtown center of Belmont, California. Right on the San Francisco Peninsula. Just one of those... kind of hometown fancy restaurants back in the day. Like if you had a special occasion, you went to the Pine Brook Inn.
Yeah, I think I was very uncomfortable when I went there. I think I went there for our high school graduation, and we had to force my father to pay for that because, it was too expensive.
You had to force your dad to pay for that?
Oh yeah, he was not paying. He was not. We were going.
We
were regulars at the Sizzler, dude.
Yeah, he wanted to go to the farmhouse where we get the free bread.
Yeah, we were not going to the Pine Brook Inn. That was a little bit uncomfortable for us plain ghetto folk, right?
Yes.
But I do. Before we started recording, you were talking about some kind of wine squirter.
Oh yeah, so they had one of the kind of their shticks, right? They had, if you ordered the soup. The guy came in with this kind of leather pouch of wine. I don't even know. A leather pouch of wine. It was like a leather thing of a pouch of wine.
I don't remember this.
This looked like something out of Daniel Boone.
Does not sound tasty.
No, but he would say, "Do you want the wine in your soup?" And he would start squeezing the pouch, squirting the wine into your soup. But then he would back way away and way down low by the floor, with this arcing stream of wine going into your soup or something like that, and then come back up. It was your stick. It was a stick. Shtick.
It was a niche.
It was the Pine Brook Inn.
Dude, no more bong hits. Oh. Seriously, you can't do the bong hits.
See, the problem is he can't take
on the
smoke.
Chumcast.
Yeah,
can't do it. No. So the Pine Brook Inn was at the Carlmont Shopping Center, which was, right here on the peninsula here in the Bay Area, about 20 minutes outside of San Francisco. Very small town. Very small town, but we had this little shopping center called the Carlmont Shopping Center. Village Host Pizza was always there, and so was the Pine Brook Inn.
Yeah, you got to go to Village Host Pizza.
And you also have to go to Baskin Robbins, where you worked.
I worked at Baskin Robbins. Yeah, I was a member of the Baskin Robbins All-Star team. I was a super scooper.
Oh man, were you super! And the other thing that I can remember is not charging me for my what was the blue ribbon? The blue ribbon. There's a flavor
gold
called
medal ribbon.
Gold medal ribbon.
Yeah.
So
I didn't charge you?
No. You gave me
a big scoop.
Yeah, a big scoop.
I see. I was a straight laced guy. I wasn't gonna not charge something because I didn't want to get in trouble. Rules are rules. You follow the rules.
Or you didn't charge me a couple times.
I think I gave you extra scoops.
I came in there with girls, and you were trying to make me look cool.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that was. Oh, that might have been somebody else that we know.
Not me. I'm a pretty straight shooter.
That makes you a tightwad.
Oh, I mean, we have some other friends that work there. Debbie.
Yes. Jenny, Matt.
Yes, Matt. Yeah, these guys. Everybody, work there.
So the shopping center, for those of you who are not from the Bay Area, the shopping center was literally right down the street from our high school. So it was where everybody, smoked pot and got into trouble doing their own thing, right? A lot of people had jobs there. The Pine Brook Inn kind of stood out because it was such a fancy, it had a creek that was running through it. It had an actual real pine tree that was in the middle of the restaurant. It was for the
big Christmas tree during Christmas time. They had lights on. Yeah,
it was for the rich, sophisticated types.
Yeah,
they didn't want us hanging out there.
And the Pine Brook Inn sat right in the middle of the center, but it was in a nursery next to a nursery that had a creek running through it that you could go and walk out and walk through and that kind of stuff. It was all very cool.
Tyler's Nursery. We went to high school with Rich Tyler. who also just recently passed away.
But I didn't know that. Did he?
Yeah, they owned. I didn't
know they owned that nursery. I
Yeah,
didn't know
with
that.
the creek going through it.
Yeah.
But I believe the creek is gone now. I think there was a little waterfall in there too.
Yeah, a little bit of waterfall, but there was more of like a storm runoff creek as well, right? So they kind of fixed that all up once one time the whole parking lot flooded during a big storm.
You going to thank these morons that we work with?
I am. Yes, they were a little upset. They were a little upset that
guys.
we don't come in strong and hard anymore as much. As
They're in the intro. They're in the intro to the show.
I know. We got Michael and Doug from Whetstone Entertainment, are basically our parents here. Did you know Doug lives in Ohio? Has a house in Ohio.
Nice.
And comes in and does his rounds and always kind of plans his trip around. So Doug, thank you for making the trip from Ohio.
That's where the ordinary folk are.
Yeah, little town in Ohio, near Columbus of all places, right? So it's not easy. So Michael and Doug, thank you, and then the Is Chill, the young people here, Evan, Marcio, Ryan, Daniel, Eric there, and then of course the lovely Rachel, who brings sanity to this Chumcast. But thank you guys very much, and we're off and running.
So coming up, since we got the business out of the way, coming up today, we've got a pretty kick-ass show. So of course, one of our favorite segments is called Holla, where we read your emails. That's coming up a little bit later in the show. Also, we are featuring Adam Sandler in our One Bad Mutha segment, which comes up a little bit
He's
later.
a bad mother? Really?
I know you're not much into Adam Sandler, right?
No.
I think this segment may convince you that Adam Sandler's a little bit more than you think he is.
Okay.
You know, he's our age.
No, I appreciate the guy, but it's just not my.
He plays the guitar. He's got a musical background.
Well,
Yeah, very musical. And he's survived a ton of duds. His movies have been for shit. He has made a lot of really crappy movies.
I'm fine. Love him in Gems, but we'll go from there.
So what are we going to do with the Booyah and the Boom? Do we know? We have the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka coming up a little bit later. Right now, let's get into what are we going to do? Oh, on this day in history.
On this day in history.
All right. It's on this day in history, and it's being brought to you today by Splash Water Slides.
Oh, nice. Love the splash.
The water slides are almost kind of out of, the past. So
Yeah.
if you can find a water slide to cool off on nowadays, you've hit a gold mine.
Yeah, you've hit a gold mine, right? And of course, back at us, we like water slides all the way back from a couple episodes ago. Marine World Africa USA Studios, they had water slides. So there you go.
On this day in history, you guys are going to love this. We're taking it back
Where?
to Abe Lincoln.
No.
Yeah, because on this day in history, Abe Lincoln's assassin, John Wilkes Booth, was killed.
Oh.
The War Department, back in that day,
Or was he killed?
1865,
Okay.
right? 1865, a long time ago. So, it took him forever to find John Wilkes Booth. And when the War Department was offering a whopping $100,000 for somebody who could bring in John Wilkes Booth. I don't know if that doctor or that lady or the Surratt or
Mary Surratt.
I don't know if any of those people were aware of what kind of cash they could have gotten.
Well, they got hung for it.
Well, they could have gotten cash instead.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So he stayed at large for a few days with a fractured leg. He kills the president like a coward from behind, right?
Yep. Shouts the big Latin thing and jumps down, right?
And breaks his leg.
Yep.
Jumps on a pony, goes across the river there, the Potomac River,
Yep.
right? And survives for a couple of days, has some people helping him out on the road, right? He gets his leg taken care of. He gets his medical problems taken care of. He gets a couple of drinks. He gets some food. He gets some shelter. He gets some sleepy time. But it was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
But you know where he's from?
Where is he from?
Nancy Pelosi's town. He's from Baltimore.
He's from Baltimore.
Yep. Baltimore. And he was from a very famous acting family.
Yes, he was an actor. That's right.
And I took this tour in D.C. So you can go to, remember when you went to D.C., I was like, you got to go to Ford's Theater.
Yeah, we didn't go, but yeah, I want to go. Yeah.
It's the greatest. It is maybe the premier tourist attraction, or at least for me. Everybody's different. But for me, Ford's Theater was great. And they used to offer the John Wilkes Booth escape route.
Oh, there you go.
So you would go into the back alley. They would show you where his horses were. That back alley still exists, even though like it's in the middle of a downtown sort of section, 14th Street, I think, in DC. But you could, get into a car and they would take you to his route. You would do his exact route. And then you would go in through Maryland and you would see all the, places where he was, Mary Surratt's house, all that different stuff. It was really interesting back in those days because everything was a pain in the ass. You didn't have any cars. You didn't have any air conditioning.
No, it was a horse. I mean, if you rode 10 miles, that was like driving 500, right?
Yeah. And you really get a great feel for that. Right. But what a dividing time in our history, right? It was Civil War time and everybody hated everybody. And Abe was doing all he could just to hang on to the Union at that time.
Did they carry Abe across the street, right? Did you go see that place?
Yeah. They carried him across the street. That's right there.
Got the bloody pillow over there, right?
Well, I think that might be on a tour like that. Now that might go from museum to museum to museum. But when I went, you could see the bloody pillow.
Hey, could you make the argument that John Wilkes Booth being killed or maybe still being alive is probably the birth of the first conspiracy theory?
Yeah, I think that could be.
Hey, go to www.don'tlistenchumcast.com and send us your comments. What is the earliest conspiracy theory, right? We got the John Wilkes Booth. Is he dead or is he really alive still?
Yeah,
because they caught on fire, right? Didn't the place catch on fire and they burned him or something?
Yeah, so he was in Virginia, I think, or Maryland. I don't remember. All those states kind of blend in together.
Well, nice prep work for On This Day in History.
It was, but I do know that it was called Garrett's Barn. Okay. It was a barn.
Yeah.
And if you drive by there, it's like a thicket. There's nothing there. It's like a thicket of trees. It says this is the spot where John Wilkes Booth was killed, and then you walk out there, and it's
great use of the word thicket. I've always wanted to use that word in some conversation. Awesome.
So Garrett's Barn in Virginia, he refused to come out, so they shot him. They set it on fire, and then they shot him. He's a very psycho guy, psycho, drunk, racist, John Wilkes Booth. His grave is in Baltimore too, and it's unmarked. So it's in a family deal where all these actors have these great looking headstones and everything.
And he's just kind of thrown in there?
Yep, with like a pebble.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was, the disgrace of the family, I guess.
Yeah.
But it did change the entire trajectory of the country. So on this day in history, today, John Wilkes Booth was killed. Great day.
Great day. All right.
And that's what happened on this day in history, and it has been brought to you by our friends at the Callahan Law Group.
The hot mess of a dumpster fire will continue.
Ignorance is no excuse. This Chumcast is not safe. Don't listen.
The Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for sticking around. It's the Don't Listen Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs.
You see the note they're flashing in the window?
So I screwed up the sponsor. It was not the law group that I was talking about. It was the Splash Water Slides place.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
It isn't.
We'll make good for it. Get off of me.
Yeah. The look of disappointment, it's kind of funny.
So remember that Steve Miller song? I heat up.
No.
I can't cool down.
Nope.
My situation goes round and round.
I do not.
Abracadabra, bro.
Oh, I remember that song.
You know where Steve Miller's from?
No.
San Francisco.
He's a local guy, huh?
Yeah. They formed the band in 1967 in San Francisco.
I heard him play San Jose State Spartan Stadium.
Yeah, they're always playing.
Extreme
there.
opened up for them, and then they opened up for ZZ Top, right? So it was a threesome night, and I was working
a triple feature.
I was working parking, so I got to hear them. Yeah.
So that's one of
they're good,
amazing.
Again, I'm not a
big
anybody else fan besides Springsteen and Bon Jovi, but behind that, yeah.
Good. So that was your Steve Miller moment.
I heard him play.
Abracadabra.
I heard him play.
So coming up a little bit later, we're going to get into your emails. That's holla. Also, we've got Adam Sandler. That's our One Bad Mutha segment that we got coming up. But right now, I'm pretty excited. Oh, yeah, we're also going to talk about Memphis. My trip to Memphis.
Oh, nice.
Right, that's in Yeah, Buddy. But right now, let's get into the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. They've moved everything over here, so let's do the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
Oh yeah, the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka.
Okay, I got the fishbowl. Why do you give it to... All right, I'll do it. I'm drawing, okay?
They clean that thing up.
I know, there's more cards in it. So here you go.
Oh, so by the way, I'm not going to script the sponsors this time. The Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka is being brought to you by Fairfax Motorworks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like them. Nice.
I think they paid like $18.
I can assure everybody that there's no cards taped to the side. This isn't rigged. This card says famous sax solos.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Who thought of that?
Me.
Are there famous sax solos?
Are you kidding me, dude? The sax solo was the highlight of the 80s break. What was that called? It was either a guitar solo or a sax solo.
Does Kenny G count as playing the sax?
No, Kenny G is out.
He's out.
No, he's lame, dude. I mean, he could play a sax. I give him that.
Yeah.
But let me break out the list.
All right. You got a list though.
Well, I got it. Yeah, it's right here. And the number one, okay, so when we put this together, the way that the context of how this came together was, I was like, wow, there's no sax solos anymore. And in the 80s, when we're doing all this research for more cowbell and all the stuff that we're doing, and I was like, holy crap, that like died with the dinosaurs. I mean, that was a thing. In the 80s, it was a real thing. Every band really had a great sax player.
Well, Clarence Clemens, right? From
he's on the list.
Bruce Springsteen, but that's what I would say. Gave it a little color, little. I said color, but yeah, it's gave it a good feel. Yeah.
So Kenny G, the list actually, it's funny on this list. It says sax solos without Kenny G, and literally the first person that comes to your mind
was Kenny G, but he had great curly hair though.
Dramatic pause.
Oh, that's a good one.
Huey Lewis in the News. I want a new drug.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was hard rock and roll. I mean, he had the sax and the stuff. So yeah, okay.
In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart. So this may be one of the best because it actually features a dramatic pause within that song. There's a little break, a little dramatic pause in that song. And then it's a harrowing, sort of haunting yet romantic sax solo that hits you in that song. And In Excess is from Australia.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know if they're around anymore.
Well, the Michael Hutchence committed suicide.
But when I saw them at the Shoreline for their Kick tour, dude, they featured that sax guy like no other. Like I think his lungs must have been killing him by the end of that show. So it was a thing. It was a little bit of a thing, the sax solo.
Yeah, okay.
Lady Gaga, she's got this. So she went and got Clarence Clemens in 2011, right before he passed away. And they cut a song called The Edge of Glory.
No, not familiar.
That was it for Clarence Clemens. That was it. He passed away right after that. Yep. But he was known as the complete legend of bringing the sax solo back to the 1980s. That was where he got his.
When you have Bruce Springsteen, right, and then he's putting the sax in the stuff. I mean, yeah, you're rolling with it. Because the boss told you to.
And it's a nice alternative to the guitar solo, because everybody back then was featuring a guitar solo.
Yeah. It's a nice blend, and then also it adds that different level of
romanticism
layer of music when you do have a guitar solo. So it's nice. Because he would switch up. Clarence Clemens would have different types of saxes depending on what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh, he's missed. I didn't realize he had been gone since.
Yeah, but he got his nephew to join the band, Bruce Springsteen. So Clarence Clemens' nephew plays sax now for Bruce Springsteen. Yeah.
That is great, stupid knowledge.
Yeah.
So pre-1980s, it was Pink Floyd with Money, and they combined the sax solo with the bass line.
Yeah.
You were not a Pink Floyd fan.
But nah. Yeah.
I don't know how you breathe air. I don't know how that happens. How does someone go through?
It's hard. It takes all my energy.
It does take a lot of... Okay, how about Men at Work? Who can it be now?
Yeah, okay.
Another Aussie band.
Yeah, but it's not... I mean, there's a sax in it. I don't know if it's great.
Well, it actually set the tone. It was in 1982. It was one of the top-selling albums, Business as Usual.
Yeah.
And it actually set the tone for the sax solo to kind of be a trend throughout the 1980s. We get it. And another good one, actually before Men at Work, and this is just all coming to me, Foreigner. So Foreigner.
Yeah, they had a sax. Yeah.
Urgent, 1981. I believe they referred to that as the screaming.
Weren't they on our
solo.
Underrated bands of the 80s, Foreigner? Didn't we list them a couple episodes ago? Yeah, but yeah, they had... And the guy, I think he played sax. I think he played other instruments. So they got the full.
Foreigner 4 was epic.
Yeah,
I mean, that was really an epic album. Supertramp, they featured. I don't know where they're from. They might be English. They might be American. They could be Australian, or they could be Yugoslav. I don't know. But they featured the saxophone quite a bit. Their claim to fame is in 1979 with the Logical Song, and that was actually recorded in a bathroom.
Really?
Great acoustics in a bathroom.
Really?
You should know that. You're the musician of the group here.
Yeah. Well, I record all my bathroom visits, but yeah, I didn't know that.
All of them?
Yeah. For posterity's sake, you never know when you're going to come up with an idea.
All right. We should get those sponsored.
Okay.
Bob Seger, Old Time Rock and Roll, Risky Business.
Sure.
We all remember that.
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen, as we talked about in 1975. This one was Born to Run, and the story behind this is that it took 6 months to record the song, but this sax solo actually launched the Boss's mainstream success, and it really just blew Clarence Clemens out of the water.
Yeah, but there's so many saxophone moments with Bruce Springsteen, but for the 80s guys, I mean, the 80s kids, right? Don't forget when Springsteen performed live, Dancing in the Dark, he pulls, just like Courtney Cox up or anybody else up.
Courtney Cox.
Pulls anybody up, but he pulls anybody up on the stage. He's dancing to the sax solo at the end of Dancing in the Dark with Clarence Clemens. So there you go.
That's a more very good.
It's good knowledge.
Very good stupid knowledge.
Yeah.
So let's see what else I got. Let's just blow through this real quick and then get done. George Michael, Careless Whisper in 1984.
Sure.
So here, it's an interesting story. So George Michael was another production guy. So he loved production. Everything had to be perfect. With his records, with his solo career, everything had to be perfect. So 1984, it's Careless Whisper. He tried out 10 different sax players for that sax solo because the breathing patterns for that sax solo were nearly impossible.
Oh.
I don't think he'd be fun to work with.
No, not like that.
It would be like, who would be another guy, John Bon Jovi. Probably not a lot of fun to work with.
No, he's all right. He's
a tyrant. He's known as a corporate rocker.
No, but he's not. He's fine.
Oh, Bon Jovi, if he had a sax solo, he was probably writing it off on his taxes.
Okay.
Let
me think about that. No,
look, I don't mean to hurt your feelings.
Oh yeah, you just don't know what you're talking about.
Ah, boy.
What else you got? Because I got one to throw in there. But what else you got?
Okay, let me just run through this real quick. David Bowie, Modern Love in '83, Spandau Ballet, For True, which was like the slow dance of our high school careers.
Which one?
This much is true. Hoo.
No.
This much is true. Hoo. Hoo.
No.
Dude, I remember slow dancing to that.
No.
At every maybe 1 year. That was in what year was that? I think it was in 84.
If I can be so bold, you don't know what you're talking about.
David Bowie, 1983, Modern Love. Steve Winwood, Just Roll With It. Glenn Frey.
Okay.
Glenn Frey's solo album, You Belong to the City. You should know that. You were an Eagles fan.
Yeah. Well, I was only because we use some of Glenn Frey stuff on the Carmont Vice soundtrack.
That Carmont Vice thing really launched us.
That's for a future episode.
I remember the signing the autographs and the girls throwing their bras on us. All that
No,
stuff.
it was you. Yeah, you were a big deal. Yeah.
Christopher Cross.
Which one?
Arthur.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's a beautiful sax solo. Tina Turner, You're Only the Best.
Yeah. No. There. Okay. Yeah. I'll put that on my list.
And Hall & Oates. I'm gonna mention Hall & Oates. Of course, that Maneater, Duran Duran, Rio. So listen, I just want the people who are hearing this, like the crickets, those 3 crickets in the corner that are listening to this. If you're into the 80s music and you actually listen to these sax solos,
Yeah.
they're phenomenal. And they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. The guitar solo is totally gone in 2024. And so is the sax solo. It's gone.
Okay.
It used to be a very important element, a depth move.
You know,
It was very important.
there's a rumor that Nirvana wanted to bring a sax onto the into the band.
Oh, what happened?
No, it's just a rumor.
I think you should listen to some rumors because they needed some love.
Okay,
they were very dark.
I'm going to tell you. Do you know what's missing from your list? I mean, I think anybody in the '80s would agree.
You're gonna poke some holes.
Just one sax solo
You're gonna poke the bear.
that just stands out. It's from a movie, The Lost Boys. Remember that band that plays on the beach with the bonfires? Has the sax guy all shirtless, muscled out, oiled up, big long hair all pulled back in a big ponytail, and he's wiggling he's wiggling his hips. He's thrusting.
He's like Thor.
Yeah, it's totally like Thor. But instead of that hammer, he's got his friggin' sax, and he's thrusting left and right. That's a sax solo in the 80s. There you go.
That is
Couldn't
the
tell
definition.
you the band. Couldn't tell you the band, but there you go. There's my 80s moment.
Well, and that was the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. And it was brought to you by
Oh, you can get the sponsor right this time?
Fairfax Motorworks.
Don't listen chumcast.com.
You've been corrupted, hijacked, and exploited. Don't listen.
This is how we party.
Nothing, but a whole lot of nothing burger right here. Don't listen.
Alrighty then. Welcome back. It's the Don't Listen Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. Coming up a little bit later, we're getting to the emails.
Oh, nice. Holla.
Yeah, we're getting to the emails, and it's been interesting since my dad passed, right? I just want to say thank you. I don't really want to get into anything specific.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty hard time, but I just don't give a shit. Like the whole thing that I'm not shaken at this point is like I don't give a shit. I mean, I give a shit. Like I appreciate all of the notes and all of the kind words and all of the time that you took. But I'm not going to get into specifics. Right? I'm not going to take time to read all this stuff. I don't. I'm trying to kind of move along if you can. I don't know if you ever do, but the thing that I'm trying to tell you Shebs, is that something happened to me somewhere along the line. Something broke, and I'm carrying around this thing where I don't give a shit. Like nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
Like, nothing fucking matters. Nothing. Like it's a weird thing. The other night, I was out with a couple of friends, and surprisingly, believe it or not, the blind girl who was with us was, sitting on my lap. And I just didn't care, right? Everybody else would care. I didn't care.
You had a blind girl sitting on your lap?
A cute blind girl. Obviously, I didn't have my potato sack over my head, so it had to be a blind girl.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned that before, that you're number one with blind chicks everywhere.
I was like, get off my lap. Get off my lap. What are you doing? Get off my lap. Normally, I would just deal with it. Normally, I would just be like, yeah, and I would try to cop a feel. I'd do whatever, right? But like, get off. There's this thing that since Dad passed, and look, I'm appreciative of all the people. Don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative, but it's a really difficult thing. It's just like something you've never experienced, and you don't know what's going to hit you next, right? You get triggered all over the place, right? And you don't know what's going to hit you. And I've been hit with this I don't give a shit stick because it feels like nothing matters for a large portion of my life.
Right. Or you now know what's important.
Yeah, maybe that's a better way of putting it. But, things just haven't really been the same. I don't expect them to ever be the same. I was best friends with my dad and I miss him a lot. But I do just want to let people know that I'm officially dangerous at this particular junction because anything can come floating out of my mouth at any point.
And for those out there, we have a nice special episode out there where just after Keith's father passed away, we did a kind of an ad lib.
Oh yeah, they can check that out. That's already aired. They can check that out.
Yeah, no, it's out there. Yeah, it's out there. And the James Blake episode, and it's just again really nice. So.
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on. Yes, yeah.
Holla is coming up.
I know,
and there's been there's been a lot of response to that.
We got great. Really nice emails.
Very nice, but I just don't want to get into it right now. I'm not ready. Maybe somewhere down the line we can get into it.
Let's talk more about the blind chick on your lap.
Yeah, exactly. So coming up. So it's just weird. Like, I'm kind of a different person. Like, this cute girl is
really. You're going back over this?
Well, she's sitting on my lap and she likes me and all that. And I'm like, get off my lap.
But she can't see you.
Get off my lap. She's not really blind. I'm making fun of myself.
I'm no looker either right now. But come on.
I know. So. I normally would not throw that away.
But you have straight teeth, unlike George Washington.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. So enough of that crap. Oh, so. The point is that Holla is coming up a little bit later. We're going to read your emails. Also, our One Bad Mutha with an A segment is coming up, and we're going to talk about Adam Sandler's career. But right now, we're going to get into Yeah, Buddy.
Yeah, Buddy.
And Yeah, Buddy is being brought to you today by our friends at Eureka Real Estate Group. And I want to just talk a little bit about my recent trip to Memphis.
Oh, there you go. I think there's actually we got kind of the dual iconic people in Americana history, right? Elvis Presley and Martin Luther King, right?
I'll be honest. I'll be upfront. Memphis is not really probably for everybody,
right?
Just because of the weather. It's really humid and really hot, and we usually like to bounce this around Bonnaroo. There's the big Bonnaroo weekend music festival that happens in outside of Nashville, so on the other side of the state. But it's interesting. So there are some things that I think if you're a music person, if you are into rock and roll, you cannot die and not go to Memphis.
Okay, yeah.
Because everything about Memphis is basically about rock and roll. They are very prideful of the being the heart of rock and roll, and the birthplace of the blues.
Okay, yeah.
So here's what we would recommend that you do the most. We've done it a couple times. This is kind of the way to do it. You take the direct flight to Memphis from wherever you're going. You go to Memphis.
A direct flight to Memphis, really?
Yep. No stops. Can't do a stop. I hate stops.
What, are you flying FedEx? What are you doing?
No, I'm flying, Southwest, whatever.
Direct United, to Memphis?
United. Yeah, it depends on where don't get hung up on this. Don't get hung up on this.
All right.
So you go to the airport.
You go to Memphis.
You rent your car. And then you go right where we stayed was at the Westin, which is right downtown, right off of Beale Street, a block off of Beale Street. Nothing fantastic, nothing amazing, but the location is kick-ass. The location is right in the middle of everything. So that's a must, right? You want to get downtown and you want to get as close to Beale Street as you can. Like I said, we stayed at the Westin. It might have been about $200 a night.
Okay.
But we could walk everywhere. We could walk to Beale Street. And you spend the night, first night, spend a nice night. And then you get up the next day, you have a nice breakfast in the hotel, complimentary breakfast. And then you walk over to Beale Street and you go down to Beale Street. Right on the corner is BB King's Club. That's where BB King is from, right? So BB King has a restaurant with live music. It's vibrant. It's Memphis, although
does it have that music club scene just like Nashville does?
Yeah.
Same thing?
Yeah. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, nothing upscale about it at all, but it's very crowded. It's very touristy. Everybody, identifies Memphis with BB King. So that's a stop. And then you just go right down Beale Street is just about a block or 2 blocks. And you hit everything there. There's all sorts of outdoor cafes and bars. And
is it nice? I mean, is it all done up nice?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't call it nice. I would call it authentic. It's very blues authentic. The smell of barbecue is in the air everywhere you go. It's very smoky.
Okay.
There's music blaring all over. It's sort of like the Fisherman's Wharf. Right?
Okay.
Of
good
like
food?
The touristy.
Do you like the food?
Of course. It's world famous barbecue. So that's one thing. So Beale Street is something that get something close to a hotel close downtown, and then you want to hit Beale Street, and then we're eating meat the entire time. Usually I'm having ribs. You gotta be ready to gain about 10 pounds because it's going to happen. And we like to go to this place every time we go there. It's very authentic. It's in a back alley. It's called the Rendezvous, and it is a very famous, legendary, long-standing rib joint, barbecue rib joint where they smoke their ribs. It's just amazing. You've never really tasted ribs like that. And coming from the Bay Area, you expect everything to be like, very pricey. But when you get to Memphis, everything is very affordable. So you get your tab after eating, like 3 pigs, 3 hogs, and like, a side of something else. And you're thinking you're going to get like a $300 tab, and it's like $30.
Nice.
And it's really nice. The thing about the Rendezvous is that, like, if there's something going on in town, like the Black Crows were playing there, or if guns, that's where they're going.
Okay.
That's the signature spot. So it didn't used to be like that, but it is now because people like me, loose lips, sink ships.
Yeah.
So now you're probably going to have to wait, but it's really cool. It's called the Rendezvous. It's in a back alley, and the atmosphere is very casual. Like you could walk in there in, what you slept in the night before. It's very casual. Everything in Memphis is very casual, right? There's no big getting dressed up and all that kind of crap, right? So that's the Rendezvous. You want to go there to eat. And then, of course, we got to get into Sun Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Right, which is also, you go back to your hotel, you've had your Beale Street and all this food and everything, go home, take a nap, wake up the next morning, and you want to hit Sun Studios, which is basically 10 minutes away.
Are they still doing stuff there, or is it just a museum kind of?
No, it's a museum.
Okay.
And it's really nice, right? Because it's another one of these marquee places where Elvis recorded.
That's the Elvis, yeah.
Elvis recorded there, B.B. King recorded there, Johnny Cash, everybody who was anybody. Willie Nelson, and it's all completely intact. It's completely intact. It's from the exterior to the interior. They have the actual microphones that they recorded on. They have the actual equipment that was recorded on, and it's quick. You can go in there, buy yourself a t-shirt, get the tour, and get the heck out. Then you want to head over to Graceland.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So you can see the need for the car, right? The rent-a-car becomes kind of important.
Yep.
Because Graceland is not like right around the corner. You got to get on the freeway. You got to get over there. You got to drive over there. What's interesting about Graceland is that it's very modest. You think you're going to see this big old huge mansion, and it's not like that at all. It's on a very main thoroughfare, which feels kind of like here, it would be like the El Camino Real. It's a very, very busy street.
Sure.
Wide, very, very busy street. Across the street from Graceland is this huge strip mall.
That's the Elvis specific.
I mean, and it's very
that's the money making
it's
arm of the Elvis estate, right?
Right, and it's very cool because it's very tacky, very tacky, cheap Elvis. If you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like signature tacky Elvis.
Do you want to say? But that's what Elvis fans love: is the cheap, tacky Elvis stuff.
So the bet is that you get over there as early as you can, and that's where you're going to buy your tickets. And they have these different levels. Like, you know, you can buy like, you know, a VIP. You can buy like a double VIP. You can buy like, you know, and it ranges between like $200. By the way, this all used to be like $20. You'd go across the street, you'd buy your ticket, and you'd get on
You go to
a little
Graceland.
tram, like a little bus, and they would take you across the street through the gates into Graceland. You just walk through. They'd hand you a Walkman, and you'd go through there and you'd listen to everything. It'd be no problem. You got to see everything. But now I think the Presley family has sold that completely out to some sort of entertainment group. So now you go across the street, you have like 19 different levels. You can get the 300, the secret room, the backdoor room, the Tonga room special. You can get all this different stuff that you used to be able to see included in your $25.
Do you get to see the bathroom?
You do not. And
See, that's what. Come on, let's be serious here.
So
Anybody
when
goes to Graceland, they want to see the bathroom where Elvis died.
well, when you enter, you go right into the foyer, and right in front of you are the stairs going up there.
Yeah.
And there's a big block off. Like there's a rope there.
You're not going to go see the bathroom where Elvis died.
And then you can see at the top of the stairs, you can't even see what's up there. They put a curtain in front of it.
What?
Yep. Can't see it. So I was not
What
aware
are they
of that.
afraid of?
I've been to Graceland a lot of different times, and because I was a big Elvis fan back in the day, but they're not allowed. I think the only person who's ever been allowed in Elvis's bedroom was Nicolas Cage, because he married Lisa.
And that was
Marie.
it?
And I think he married her just so he could see the bathroom.
Yeah, probably, right?
He's a freak. I mean, I don't know.
You know, there's a story back in the 70s. Bruce Springsteen, while on tour, wanted to go see Graceland, so he just kind of went over there and in the middle of the night and knocked on the door.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And?
They let him in, but I don't think that was, I think that's as far as it went.
I think back in the day, I really...
I mean,
you know,
he's Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you think that would get you in the bathroom, right?
You think?
He's bigger than, I would say bigger than Nick Cage, but he didn't marry into the family.
He didn't marry in the family.
Mistake. So that's Graceland. We've said enough about that. It's actually really cool. You get to
And
see
they got Elvis's. They got an airplane out there, right? There have been a couple Elvis planes.
the Lisa Marie is there,
Yep.
and you have to buy a separate ticket for that.
And I think that's a Convair. It's an old.
It's really cool. Like when you go in there,
4-engine jet, but you know it's old school.
I think it's
was
70s.
And if you're in the aviation community, I think there was a Jetstar Elvis once owned that was sitting in the desert that someone purchased just recently. So yeah. Anyway, just some aviation.
So the best thing
knowledge.
about that is that you get to walk into the jet, and it's so throwback. It's great.
Shag carpet everywhere, right?
Yeah, that was like the cool thing. So when you get, I would recommend that to everybody. You cannot go to Memphis without going to Graceland.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a no-brainer.
That's kind of a no. And the other thing that last thing, and then we'll get out of here, the Lorraine Motel.
Ah, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Powerful.
I was absolutely blown away. It's no longer, so this hotel was like the only place that they would allow black people that came to Memphis to stay. Yeah. It was like basically like a black person's hotel back in the civil rights, back in the
Jim Crow era, where everybody was segregated still, right?
Yeah, and what the beautiful thing that they did was that they turned this hotel, and it's again the most beautiful thing about Memphis is that it is so authentic.
Right.
So they didn't do anything to the room. There's no upgrades. There's no anything. The hotel room where Martin Luther King was assassinated is fully intact. They've never touched it. Right. And they put they put a museum there where they have all the memorabilia. They have a video. They have, it's the National Civil Rights Museum.
Oh, nice.
Right. So they got a lot of funding for that. But it's really a trip because they really throw you back to the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated, which is a very, very sad day in American history. But they parked the cars from that year, are in the hotel, right? They have a bunch of Cadillacs,
Right, where they were, yeah.
a bunch of old cars from that year. And they had the old silverware, the old plates, eating plates. The beds have not been touched. The bathroom, nothing has been touched. So that's one of the beautiful things. And I would recommend that everybody, that is a real hidden gem, because I'm the guy that goes into these museums. Like you go to Mount Vernon and you go, I'm the guy who's in the back row going, because I'm tall, I don't want to get anybody's way. But I'm the guy in the back row who's going, hey, I love this room and everything, but is anything original?
Right.
And the person, what do they call those
Docent.
people? Docent. Yeah. The docent looks at me like they're going to kill me. Then they go, actually, no, nothing is original. So when you ask that question at the Lorraine, everything is original. So very cool. That's the main reason. So you get the original food, you get the original Elvis, you get the original Martin Luther King. It's all original. That's the beautiful, and the music. The whole music.
James Earl Ray, who assassinated Martin Luther King from the row house, is that all intact over there? I mean, do you see any of that stuff and kind of get a sense of this whole assassination?
Yep. They have not built on it.
They have not.
Nope.
Wow.
I mean, Memphis is different from the Bay Area. They're not throwing together a new, 800 room apartment complex on any plank of land that they have out there, right? It's not like that. There's a real pride that goes on with this, with
being authentic, right?
Yeah, and being authentically Memphis. One of the great things about Beale Street is that there's a retailer there who sold Elvis all of his clothes. When Elvis was first at Sun Studio, first got his first paychecks, and was first able to afford, pimp style clothing. Sure. And that guy is still there.
Really?
Yeah. But, not the guy, but
I know what you're saying.
The store is still there. And you can go in there and you can buy like authentic, not authentic, but replica pieces of clothing that Elvis would wear.
And as I dare to go over time, I would just say the one other thing that is Memphis, the FedEx hub, right? Memphis Airport, 4 runways, 3 parallel, 1 crossing. FedEx's main hub. They probably have a place called the FedEx Experience. Learn about FedEx, one of the most influential businesses here to come out of the United States. Yeah, gotta go to the Memphis Airport.
Well, you heard it from him.
Yeah,
Shebs, gotta go. I don't even
remember.
I don't even have a memory of the Memphis
Airport. It's just a basic, standard terminal with a Y concourse. Yeah, it's very basic. But the FedEx hub, there you go.
Okay, that was a go to Memphis and time it around the Bonnaroo Festival, so you can go to Memphis and then you can get in your rent-a-car and you can go across the state or a long way away to Nashville and experience Nashville, and then Bonnaroo is on a farm outside of Nashville.
And go see the Mississippi River too. It's right there.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't remember a Mississippi.
Yeah, there's a Mississippi River there.
There's a river.
I think that's the mighty Mississippi.
Oh, it was gross. It was not beautiful.
It's kind of brown and sludgy. That's the whole thing with the Mississippi. And the further downstream you go, the browner it gets.
And that was Yeah Buddy, and it was brought to you by our friends at Eureka Real Estate Group.
Don't listen. It's a mind virus.
STFU, GTFO, and WTF.
This is how we party.
Taboo, voodoo, and boohoo. Don't fucking listen.
And we're back. We're back.
That was a good dance party. These guys are still dancing inside the studio there.
The real thing that you need to understand is that once you let retarded in the door,
yeah,
it never leaves.
It ain't going out.
Yeah, I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah. There's several members of Is Chill that, yeah.
Oh, they didn't like that word, did they?
No.
Challenged is a little better.
It's inappropriate. Yep.
It is. I'm always inappropriate. So coming up next, we have got. We're going to read the emails.
Got some emails. Got some good ones.
We do have some good ones,
and a couple emails we're going to bring back from a couple weeks ago as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm out of the loop on that, but I know it's coming up, and I know we got a sponsor for it. But right now, let's get into Adam Sandler. One Bad Mutha.
That's One Bad Mutha.
And One Bad Mutha is being brought to you today by Runners Around the World Apparel. And, I've been wanting to get into Adam Sandler for quite a while because I have a very up and down relationship with Adam Sandler. He started out on Fire, SNL. I kind of liked him there.
Okay.
I mean, those are great casts. That was him,
Oh, yeah.
Chris Farley, and my boy, not Eddie Murphy, my boy, David Spade.
Yeah.
So I was very much into I'm not into SNL at all anymore because it's like just freaking all politics. So I'm not into that at all. But he was there during the heyday, but he did get fired. Adam Sandler got fired.
He got fired. Why?
They didn't think he was funny. They did not.
They didn't like his high-pitched screaming, singing. Yeah, they didn't like that. No, he didn't. They really?
Well, he did last for quite a while. But Lorne Michaels knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right? He knows what he's doing. So, but a lot of people kind of fall into your category with Adam Sandler being an irritating POS.
Well,
right? There are a lot of people that feel like you do.
I don't hate the guy, but it's just like his movies and stuff, like Jack and Jill. Not my gig.
So here,
I'm just saying, it's just not my gig.
Let's just take a look at the numbers real quick. So when Netflix was slinging money out there like it was frickin' French fries, Adam Sandler got two right out of the gate. Adam Sandler got $250 million 4-film deals, right? So that's a quick $500 million in his pocket, right? So this is where it gets a little bit impressive because the guy's a survivor. Good or bad, he's a survivor. 68 feature films, 23 TV shows, 4 documentaries, and this is production. This is produced by his production company, or he's involved one way or another, right? This is the heyday, 1990 to 1995. He's the cast member at SNL, right? He gets his big break, and he gets a small part in Coneheads. Not great.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dan
Aykroyd kind of aggravates me a little bit. Like he's one of those guys who you think is kind of funnier. He thinks he's funnier than he really is. But Coneheads was actually unique.
Yeah, but the guy can act though.
He can act. And better than that, he can write. And his buddy was Belushi. So that was a pretty big break in 93. He got Sandler got a role with Coneheads, and then Airheads in 94. Kind of a brainless, I kind of fall for those brainless movies. 94. Not exactly great entertainment, but whatever. It led to his breakthrough role, which was in 1995, Billy Madison.
Right.
And he wrote it. So this was the big break, right? The writing thing is the gold dust. Just like I told you about Duran Duran, the band would wait around for Simon Le Bon to come in there, and because he wrote all the lyrics, and they couldn't do anything, they couldn't write lyrics. So Simon Le Bon
had to wait.
So when Simon Le Bon got pissed off at all the band, he wouldn't show up, and they would be like, "Where's that "Hungry Like the Wolf" lyric?"
Yeah.
Right. So he's writing this stuff now. So it's kind of Billy Madison is kind of. His blast off, because 96 it's Happy Gilmore, 96 another movie with the Wayans dude, and that's Bulletproof, which was really, really good.
Okay.
I really like that.
I have not seen that one.
I know you like The Wedding Singer in 98.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, it's okay.
She's kind of annoying.
Well, she's okay.
Yeah, she's okay. I don't really care for E.T. She was money, but after that, downhill.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, Charlie's Angels.
Waterboy, 98. You didn't just say, I'm going to ignore that.
Yeah.
The same with Big Daddy, 98. I mean, that Big Daddy was in 99. And Little Nicky was in 2000. So that was the run. That was the Adams 90 to 2000. And trust me, what I'm learning from all of this research that we're doing on all these different movie stars, they get a run.
Yeah.
It's either it's like a 5-year run, it's like a 10-year run, it's like a 3-movie picture, it's like a 3-movie run or a 7-movie run. But after that, they hit the wall, dude. They hit the wall and it's pretty much over.
What was the movie that they did with all the other comedians, like their old dads or?
Oh yeah, that's coming up. That's coming up. Let's see. Okay, Little Nicky was in 2000.
Yeah.
And okay, that's a little less than 10 years. That's a little less than a 10-year run. And I understand that movies are all subjective. People like what they like, they hate what they hate, and everybody's different. But nothing after those 10 years even comes close. And part of that is that he mostly produced. He didn't write after that. He mostly produced those films. He did not do a lot of writing. And the lowbrow, Billy Madison, wedding singer kind of stuff, it had an expiration date. And then he started going with things like Spanglish, 51st Dates, The Hot Chick, 8 Crazy Nights, The Bench Warmers, Click, not memorable.
Yeah.
Not exactly. It's like yeah. But it's been a minute. He is one bad mother because he has survived.
I guarantee that.
Somehow he got fired from SNL. He survived long enough to put together his own production company, which, by the way, Clint Eastwood did the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the only way to survive for the long term. If you want to get your movies made with your content, with what you write, the only way to kind of do that is to produce them for yourself. Yeah. You don't have to go through anybody else to get your money.
Reese Witherspoon, right? Also, similar thing, right? Took control. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why he's one bad mother. He has actually survived.
Well, but he's had
a resurgence.
Well, I'm just saying, but it's
the Gems movie.
The Gems, but it wasn't comedy.
No,
it was dramatic. I mean, excuse me, he can act.
Yep.
That's the like the surprise. I don't know if it's a surprise, but like these comedians, Dan Aykroyd, Robin Williams, Adam Sandler, when you give them a dramatic role, I'm sorry, they're really good. Really, really good.
And that's another transition.
And his comedy is very, it's like any comedian. It's either in your wheelhouse or it's not, So he's not in my wheelhouse. I don't hate him, but watching Gems, like, wow, good for him. Really well done.
That's another transition that you'll see these comedians make through their careers. If they get into acting, like Chris Farley before he passed away, he wanted to get into some serious roles, right? They want to prove their chops. And Adam Sandler has done that.
Yeah.
He really has done that.
Absolutely.
So One Bad Mutha, Adam Sandler. I think he deserves it.
I would concur tremendously.
And that was One Bad Mutha, and it was brought to you by Runners Around the World Apparel.
Turn off, walk away, and don't look back.
This is a blatant threat to our democracy. Don't listen.
People, are you ready? Are you ready?
Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and let's get stupid.
Giddy up. Welcome back. It is the Don't Listen Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs.
I am.
And we're about ready to lock the doors and head out.
We are.
But we got to get to Hollow. We got to get to the emails. But first, I want to talk about our boy, Chris Connor.
Yeah.
At the Mountain.
Love Chris. Love the Mountain. The Mountain.live. Real real supportive. Really nice.
It's just really nice. So Chris and I go way back. We're kind of radio guys. We went back to the old days of radio, and it's really nice to be a part of what he's got going on at the Mountain.
Yeah, back in Virginia, 101.5 FM, Roanoke. Hello.
Yeah, so he's streaming worldwide at this point, but it is such a fantastic mix. The playlist is so great. So
in a lot of context, there's some different series and stuff. A lot of context around the playlist and stuff, which is really nice. I really enjoy.
So it's been a great partnership. That, along with the Michael J. Fox Group, the Mountain, and the Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Yep, absolutely.
And all of our sponsors,
and just the local Carmont High School class of 86, Carmont High School, and any of the classes around that, the love we get and support we get. It's great.
So do us a favor, and we're on the Mountain on Sunday evenings. Check us out there. It's kind of cool. We want to give Chris and the Mountain a little bit of credit for giving us an opportunity to get on board when we really didn't have any downloads.
No, and Roanoke, we'll give you some love. We got some love coming up, so don't worry. We'll get some Virginia specific highlights, and love you guys very much.
All right, so they're handing me. Okay, so let's get into Holla. And Holla is brought to you today by Max's Down Home Diner. And the first one that they have handed to me here, I just got one. I've got a stack here.
Why do you get the stack? How come I only got one?
So, because you're a pussy.
Well,
you're a pussy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't use those words exactly.
I don't even know. Yeah. See, this is one of the things I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just throw things out sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like the girl sitting on my lap.
Yeah.
Get off my lap.
Yeah, but I can see.
So, hey, thank you guys for sending in all the emails about my dad. Once again, lost my dad. It's been tough. I'm not going to get into any of those specifics, but thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the privacy at this time. It's been difficult. It's going to continue to be difficult. Trust me. So, let's get to, so you guys can go to the website. That is don'tlistenchumcast.com, and you hit contact and let us know what you think. That's where all of this crap is coming from.
Yep.
Okay. So, and also they can check us out on Facebook.
Yeah, we're there too.
Don't follow us, because if you follow us, it's going to be trouble.
So a lot of the team here does a lot of posts, a lot of good content. I like the content.
But some people are reporting eye problems after they follow and they look. There's something about looking at that's giving them,
and every now and then I'll add some content. Like several weeks ago, I added a lot of stuff on mud football. We had some good posts on that.
Oh, okay. Good. So this is why they're handing me this. We were just talking about the Mountain. So Julie from Seattle says the Mountain.live is awesome. Is so awesome. Julie. Do we know a Julie?
I work Sunday nights, a lot of stuff, and I'll just put the Mountain on and listen to music playlists. Yeah, it's good.
Do we know a Julie up in the Seattle area?
Yeah, we have a Julie in Oregon that we're good friends with, but okay. I don't know Seattle.
Okay, here's another one. After season one, after listening to season one, I want to come down to the peninsula, hang out with you guys. It sounds like paradise. I put $10 in the PayPal. This is Amy from Charleston, South Carolina.
Really? Oh, some southern roots there. There you go.
So so we, if you sponsor one of our segments, portions of those donations, those sponsorship dollars, they go directly, a portion goes directly to the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is obviously research for Parkinson's. So here we go. I have Parkinson's and it sucks. Thanks for all that you do. This is from Diane in Reno, Nevada.
Nice one. This one is actually, they handed me this one. This one, which I saw several weeks ago, but it's from Marcus, former high schooler. He was class of 1989, where we're class of 1986.
A former Scot?
A former Scot, yeah. And
from the high country?
He was just a really nice email, both about the Chumcast itself, but he referred to his memories of the movie we created back in 1986, Carlmont Vice, a little play on the Miami Vice craze back in the day.
I remember that.
And we did this full length, about 45-minute movie. Created it and raised money for the boys' sports.
That's right.
At Carlmont High School, we did a nice about $1,000+ charging $1 admission, and showed a movie during a week in school. But anyway,
yeah, we were movie stars and we didn't manage to get laid. But we still didn't manage to get laid.
I am saying,
we're like the only movie stars ever who never got laid.
This guy was like a freshman back in the day, and he sent us a really nice compliment. Heard about the Chumcast listening here, but Marcus. Hey, thank you very much for your kind email.
What did he say?
Well, he wrote a nice paragraph. He just he was talking about Carmel Vice to some work buddies last week. You remember like it was yesterday.
Oh, geez.
Sitting in a packed classroom like 2 doors down from an old Mr. McCormick's class. I mean, just
McCormick hated me. Hated me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, McCormick.
Yeah.
Oh, well, conjugate the verb.
Yes.
To be.
Preguntas. Yeah, he was Spanish. Yes. Preguntas. Yes.
God, that's like he was abusive.
But anyway, he used to work at the Circle Star Theater. That was an early on a previous episode we talked about that. Anyway, he just wanted to give us a shout out and asked us to keep up the good work. But Marcus,
keep listening.
Keep listening. Keep promoting.
Donate.
Thank you for the nice words.
Donate.
Well, I mean,
love is action.
Yeah, but this was such a nice email. I mean, I almost want to pay him.
It does take. Yeah, you probably did.
Yeah.
It takes effort to actually sit down and write. So we do appreciate that.
Marcus, send me your address. We'll send you some cash.
Seriously, Marcus, that's pretty cool. And by the way,
Marcus, you remember Big Red? He was the star of the movie, but I was
not the star.
I was a sub character. I was one of the police guys.
You were the main guy. You were like Crockett.
I was not the main guy.
You were like Crockett off of Miami Vice.
I was not the main guy. But anyway, I wrote and directed the feature film, so I had I had a nice big part. Anyway,
you got to run.
We got to do a show on Carmel Vice and
not getting laid.
And for all those in Roanoke, Virginia, we'll send a copy your way.
How did we manage to screw that up? We didn't get laid. We did a movie in high school and we didn't get laid. Well, what was wrong with me?
I don't know.
I should have parlayed that into a girlfriend.
Well, you were making out with girls in watching Footloose, sweaty armpits.
Yeah, but that's not like a girlfriend.
No.
I mean, we were movie stars.
Well, we were kind of fairly.
And I was pegging my pants and wearing topsiders with no socks.
Yeah, my braces came off and my acne cleared up. I was doing okay.
Yeah, let's not talk about this anymore. I'm starting to get depressed.
Yeah, if we could just go back in time. I could throw that football over that mountain range.
I got one here from Mary and Raleigh that says MTV, she's got to be our age, MTV videos were the best in the 80s. U2 on the rooftop.
U2 on the rooftop. That's Joshua. That was from the Joshua. That's where the streets have no name in Vegas, right? Or it was in L.A. It was in L.A. They did it in L.A.
I do remember that video with the rooftop, but I don't remember what song it was.
Yeah, it was where the streets have no name.
So U2 has gone
and the cops had to shut it all down because people were just flooding into the city. Yeah.
So U2 has gone from a rooftop to today, the Vegas Sphere.
Yeah.
And they're still around too.
And they're cooking.
So what else does she say here? Big Red gets more ass than a toilet seat. I'm making fun of it.
It's your straight teeth. Unlike George Washington, it's your straight teeth. Yeah. And your number one hit with all the blind girls in California.
Until they sit on my lap.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just throw you through the window, dude.
Only people that need only a lap that needs a step stool to get up to.
I got to get some therapy. I got to get some help with this whole I don't care about anything anymore.
Yeah, you got to work through it. But it's a good spice to your attitude right now. It's good. Keep rolling with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Spicy. Okay, so that was Mary and Raleigh. She's sad that the video era from MTV is over. But Hey, on the bright side, I think Jersey Shore is still a thing.
Yeah, Jersey Shore. Come on. Come on.
All right. So, hey, keep the emails coming to us. Again, don't listen chumcast.com. Hit contact and let us know what you think. So that's just another episode. We're closing the door. We're getting out of here.
The drawer. We got Rachel saying, wrap it up, Big Red.
So that's the Don't Listen Chumcast for today. Remember Facebook. We got the Facebook page you guys can check out. But we want you to know that if you're feeling, overwhelmed or depressed, please don't do it. Don't do anything you're going to regret. Call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 866-903-3787. And remember that everything that we want is on the other side of fear.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't listen. A Basic Chumcast has been an exclusive presentation of Whetstone Entertainment in association with Is Chill Productions. Subscribe, follow, like, and share us while on your favorite social media hangouts and our YouTube channel. We're not into begging, but if you like us, review us and support us by continuing to check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Find more fun and hit us with your feedback at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic.